What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Caught Stealing, Fantasy Alarm's Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I'm Howard Bender. I got Colby Conway with me here, and the baseball season continues. What's going on? Colby, I will lead off today's podcast by talking about the hottest team in baseball right now. Pirates have won 5 out of 6, my brother. You guys looking fairly sharp these days.
I'm just waiting for the buyers at the deadline talk to start picking up. Are we in that season of Pirates buying at the deadline? Last time they bought at the deadline or near it, I believe, is when they got swindled when they made what was it? They got Chris Archer for Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow, I believe.
Wow,
I believe it was both of them. I think it was both. Yeah, not great, Bob, but it's one of those things. But they're hot right now. They're going well, and it's one of those things. Is it fool's gold? Is it for real? Can they win a game when Paul Skeens pitches? Because he's made like 12 starts, has allowed like 13 earned runs, and has like a 2-10 record. It feels like at times, but no. If you just look at the last 6 games, best team in baseball.
It definitely is the hottest team in baseball right now. I'm not going to deny that.
Best.
The best team in baseball. I'll tell you what, what's really kind of funny is that I was looking at the Pirates schedule, and next week they take on Detroit. I was like, can I please get a Paul Skeens Tariq Skubal matchup? And it's not going to happen. It looks like Skubal is slated for the Wednesday game while Skeens is slated for the Thursday game.
If those two were to pitch against each other in a game, do you think Vegas would have it at 5.5? Or do you think we'd get the traditional like 6.5 of like a pitcher's duel? Because Pittsburgh can hit lefties. Skubal's a lefty. And over the past couple of weeks, Detroit's forgotten how to hit righties as a team as well. Like they're striking out in bunches too. Like, would we see a 5.5? Or do you think it'd still be at 6.5? Again, hypothetically speaking.
I don't think I've ever seen lower than 6.5.
Yep.
I don't think so. I mean, it'd be really interesting to see what the first 5 run line is on that one too, right? That would be first 5 run line would probably be 1.5, I guess. It was really kind of what it would come down to. Listen, man, I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your Pirates. I'm happy. Listen, I watch my Yankees play, and they're even like as we speak, as we're recording right now, they're beating the snot out of Chris Bubich, right? And it's probably to be expected here when you're talking about this Yankees lineup. The Royals don't give him any run support either. That's been a disaster. But listen, as I sit there and I watch my 40-win Yankee team, I have to shout out to you and your Pirates, and I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for it. It keeps you in a good mood, Colby, because sure as hell, I know your fantasy teams absolutely suck right now.
Yeah, they're not great, but at least a bunch of them got Yuri Perez back this week, so super excited. I know he's been in James Grande's waiver wire article, I think 2 weeks in a row at this point. It was good to see him back. There was a comment in Discord basically saying, like, what do we make of Yuri's debut? And it's multifaceted in that, one, the raw numbers, not great, but first start back in the majors. Yes, he did have 8 rehab starts, but totally different ball game, apples to oranges by that part. And under the hood, a lot of the numbers were really good. And ultimately, for the first couple starts for Perez, all we really want to see is that like velo looks good, the stuff looks good, and he's healthy. Like if he goes out there and goes 6 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts, like that's awesome. But if it's one of those where, hey, the velo looks good, he's striking out a batter per inning, and it's 5 innings, 3 earned runs and 5 Ks, that's totally fine for right now. It's going to be a process to get back with that comfort level on the mound. But I was impressed with kind of what I saw from him. Like the velo looked good. He was getting swings out of the zone. So I came away impressed from Yuri's season debut.
The velocity is always the first thing to come back. It's the command and control that you always have to watch and see what happens. And, it's kind of funny that you bring up Yuri Perez, because I've been watching Sandy Alcantara as well, who I traded away for Jung-Hoo Lee. I needed some outfield help, and Sandy, he was absolutely killing me. But now, granted, the last 2 starts that Sandy Alcantara has made have come against Colorado, in Miami, and in Pittsburgh the other day. But back-to-back quality starts, 10 strikeouts to 2 walks, in that one there. He shut down the Pirates, the hottest team in baseball, the best team in baseball.
Exactly.
I mean, what a friggin' kick in the groin that would be if like Sandy Alcantara figured it all out at the same time Yuri Perez is making his comeback. It's just such a shame that the rest of this team is such garbage, and they're going to end up having to trade Sandy Alcantara anyway.
And for fantasy purposes, just to kind of get this out there, because I know the name's going to pop up in our Discord chat about what to do with Alcantara. I'm not picking him up. I'm buying into the 9 crappy starts beforehand, or what was it? It was a good start to begin the year, 8 crappy ones, and then 2 bad ones. So I'm not really looking at him right now. I'm looking at the probables grid over at Roster Resource to see kind of who he's looking at next. Sandy's looking at the Phillies. He is going to get a 2 start next week, but it's looking like it's going to be Philly and Atlanta. I'm more curious to see how these 2 starts fare.
That's a good barometer right there. That's a rock solid barometer, because both the Phillies and the Braves, as long as they've been waking up a little bit more lately. And the Phillies, I don't know, are they going to have Bryce Harper back, or is he still going to be out? But I mean, you're still dealing with Schwarber and company. They are perfectly fine. Well, they dropped the Cubs 7-2 today.
Yeah, Jesus Luzardo stopped tipping pitches. So
yay, good job, Jesus.
Yep, he managed to figure that one out. I was so worried about him. I wrote up the pitcher grid to yesterday as y'all are listening to this, and I had no clue where to rank him. I was like, well, it's only 2 bad starts. I'll put him up at like 5 or 6. And I was like, there's no way after allowing like 37 earned runs over his last 4 innings that I can put him up near the top. I was like, I'll bury him in the middle and take my loss if he dominates, or I'll be right if he stinks. And he looked good today against a good Cubs offense.
I love doing the pitcher grid on Fantasy Alarm. I'm not going to lie. I even said it to him, Pemba. I'm like, listen, I'm doing these underdog videos with MLB Pick'ems, every single day. Why have me do the redundant stuff and do the Pick'em article as well? Why not give me like the grid? So I know you're on the grid a couple of times a week. I'm on the grid a couple of times a week. It's just, for me, it's a good way to go with like quick hitting analysis. I mean, that's what the chart is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, it's color coordinated. For those of you who don't know, go to fantasyalarm.com and under the MLB heading on the menus, you'll see in the second column under fantasy baseball tools, you'll see MLB probable pitchers matchup grid. And that's what it is. And it is a color coordinated chart: green, yellow, orange, red. And it just, for those who are going to be streaming, for those who are playing DFS, and it's just kind of, it's just a good quick reference piece. My comments always in the, when I get down to the red section, I'm like, I'm done writing up nice things about, this team's playing this guy, blah, blah, blah. Then I get to the bottom and I'm like, no way. No way in hell. Not doing it. Nope. Stop.
I love when I get like sarcastic down there, and I'm like, yeah, what's not there to love with this guy who has a 7 ERA on the road and a 480 slugging allowed to a left-handed heavy lineup. Like, I love when I get into some of those, and then it's honestly just really good for, like you said, regardless if it's seasonal and you're looking for streamers, you're trying to see options, whether if it's DFS or doing anything like that, go into it. Like, I can see, like, I did it today, and with Matthew Liberatore, I put him kind of actually closer to the bottom than the top. And it was like, hey, reduced velocity in the last start gives me some concern against a good left-handed or a good Toronto team against lefties. Like, it's not going to overly wow you with, I do get a little numbers heavy in it, I'm not going to lie, but it's very quick hitting, easy to digest analysis that you'll see in there. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, again, it's just a great tool just to, if you're on the fly and you're building lineups, or you need a last minute streamer. I do it all the time, right? I sit there because I'll go to, I'm in the Yahoo head to head where we can make daily pickups and, just constantly, streaming in guys. You can only make 5 moves a week, but, either way, it's still a great resource. You can always tell what days I'm doing the pitcher grid, because those are the days I'm most active in the streaming pitchers for my head to head. All right, what else? So what else has got you jazzed up besides a little Yuri Perez return?
Yeah, I'll go to one that you put on here, and I'm gonna kind of take it a little bit. But the guy from Duck Dynasty is getting called up to the Blue Jays.
Will Robertson.
I saw that name and I was like, the Duck Dynasty guy? Good for him getting into baseball, out of the woods and onto the diamond.
Didn't
So
one of the Duck Dynasty guys just die?
yeah, it was the old man, Phil, Terry Bradshaw's buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
they
didn't know
run
Terry Bradshaw was buddies with the Duck Dynasty guys.
well, I guess they were more competitors because I'm pretty sure Phil was the quarterback before Terry at I want to say Louisiana Tech, I think.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did
I
not
mean,
know
it's
that.
the little things.
An
But
old
good to see his son up in the big leagues for Toronto. But here's the thing. Will Robertson's going to get the call, only going to play against righties, can't hit lefties all that well, high strikeout rate in the minors. Power is good, but again, he's only going to play against righties, going to play in the outfield. Good power, high strikeout rate. I am very concerned about his batting average.
Yeah, I was asking Jim Bowden about that, and I was like, "Is this a guy who I need to pay attention to?" And Jim's like, "No, he's probably not even going to stay up for all that long." So,
Yeah.
listen, it's just good to see. Again, it's about rookies coming up and the constant barrage. Yet, for some inane reason, your Pirates won't bring up Bubba Chandler.
Yeah, they just they brought up the guy whose last name has two consonants to begin it, Mlodzinski. I don't even know how to say it. I don't even want to know how to
Oh,
say it.
it's
Mlod.
Majinski.
No, it's
Majinski.
Mlodzinski.
Nah, it's Majinski.
That guy sucks. Although I will say I love when he pitches because I know where I'm going.
Oh
Real
yeah.
simple.
I like that. I like that. All right. Elsewhere around MLB news, some things to kind of pay attention to. X-rays were negative actually on Brendan Donovan. He left the game early. I know he's been sitting out for a couple of games now. Nolan Gorman has been killing it at the plate. Nolan Gorman got white hot at just the right time, but no fractures in Brendan Donovan's left toe. They might still put him on the 10-day IL, but either way, he's kind of he's taking a back seat this week. You're going to want to kind of make sure that you steer clear even for the rest of this week if you're making moves as well. Jazz Chisholm. Well, what do you think of this one here? Michael Garcia and Jazz Chisholm. We getting a little heated here, getting a little feisty. What do you think?
Yeah, there was the what did the video catch him saying? If he tags me like that one more time, I'm gonna smack him or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I want to
Jazz
see here.
he's a talker. Jazz is definitely a talker.
Are you saying all bark, no bite? Or is there a little bite?
I mean, you know what? Considering how injury prone he is, I hope there's no bite. I I would hate to see him leave again. From that. I mean, listen, it's like we're talking about that, and I was asked about, what I thought of the situation. I'm like, Royals were getting pounded, and Garcia came in with a hard slide. He's frustrated about the loss. Jazz is definitely a chatty mother, right? I mean, that dude talks to everybody, right? He's like, I don't know if you're a hockey fan, he's like Brad Marchand, right? He just like sits there and chirp, 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 chirp.
Well, I'm looking
Um,
here, trying to see a little tail of the tape. Jazz 5'11", 180. Michael Garcia 6'1", 180. You'd think there's a little bit bigger reach there. So I'm not much of a boxer, but it seems like Jazz is gonna have to get on the inside there. So if there is basically another rough tag, Jazz has to stay close so that Michael can't get his arms extended. Then Jazz kind of is in there. I think he's okay. But I mean, here's the thing. I think you're right. He is a bit of a talker, but I have zero doubts that if he does tag him one more time like that, Jazz is going to do something. Like
oh
I do,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do believe him. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I guess well, we're recording on Wednesday here, so today was the last game between the Yankees and the Royals, so we won't see, right? We won't see anything. They don't have a Thursday game, do they?
They do.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Oh, maybe Jazz will play in that one. That ought to be interesting,
Well,
right?
and the Yankees are up. Yankees are up 5-0 as we're recording this now. So if tempers flare, we might even get it tonight or last night.
Oh yeah, Jazz is actually he's on the field. Yeah, maybe we do. I'm wondering where is it? Michael Garcia. He's 0 for 1 right now. Fielder's choice. Somebody show me where Michael Garcia gets hit by that pitch. Right? He's going to get hit in the ass with like an 85-mile-an-hour changeup.
Just to make it seem like they weren't trying.
Yeah. Oh, I lost control. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The unwritten rules of baseball.
That's right.
Other news going around there. I mean, we might as well get to the sad stuff here, right? Let's talk about the injury. Yeah.
That's what we
Again,
do.
and I'll tell you flat out, 100%. Like, there's a lot of this that is 100% my fault. There's 100% my fault. Sandy Alcantara, Shane McClanahan, Hunter Green, Garrett Cole, and now Bryce Miller as well. Another one who's been sitting on my team just sucking eggs because, bone spurs in his elbow. So PRP injection out at least 4 to 6 weeks, could be even longer than that. Maybe he's back in sometime in August. I don't even know, but Bryce Miller going down, joining that list is just absolutely atrocious. And you know what? And we could say that, no rookie love either, Colby, because Zebby Matthews, subscapularis strain in his right shoulder. That does not sound good. I don't know. Maybe since you're the professional athlete here, maybe you can exactly explain what it is. All I know is that I wish that they had said it was an elbow problem, because I know that that's fixable.
Let me text and get some medical advice on this subscapularis thing. But let me say this about Bryce Miller. So he's going to be out for a little bit here. The interesting thing is that I believe his next turn in the his last turn in the rotation was taken by Logan Evans. The next turn could be Logan Gilbert. Gilbert could come back, which would at least give Seattle a little bit of a help. But they're going to be without Bryce Miller for a little bit here, which stinks. Matthews, here's the thing. Whenever you see shutdown from throwing for X weeks, that is not the time that they're going to miss. Like, we're talking 2 weeks from shutting down. Then you got to build back up. They're probably going to put him for a rehab assignment. We're looking more 4+. It's going to be 4+ weeks for Zebby Matthews. That's what I'm telling you right now.
I mean, listen, I'm looking at it right now. I just Googled it, right? An injury to the subscapular muscle, a key rotator cuff muscle that helps with internal rotation of the shoulder. I mean, how many times, you hear torn labrum, rotator cuff issue. I mean, that to me, that's worse than an elbow problem. An elbow problem, you just turn around and just say, okay, screw it. Let's just give Tommy John surgery. The rotator cuff or a torn labrum, that's a whole different ball of wax. That's no good. That's no good.
Shoulder movement and stability, no thank you. That's not what you want to hear. And I want to go back up to Brendan Donovan quick, because this is the most toe issues that I've heard of in a single baseball season. You have Donovan with the toe. Lindor then comes out with the fractured toe. Betts had the toe injury. It's a span of 8 days. We've had 3 different toe injuries. Bad year to be a toe. That's the hard-hitting analysis right there.
It's I know you're not a doctor, but I did see you play one on TV once. Is that where you're going with here? Bad toe situation?
Bad year to be a toe.
Bad year to be a toe. Bad toe juju going on out there.
Yep.
Justin Martinez lands on the 15-day IL with a UCL sprain. Say goodbye.
Yep.
He's done. But now here's the fun stuff here, right? Shohei Ohtani. He faced live hitters again on Tuesday. A little 3-inning batting practice that they did before the game against the Padres. Now, Ohtani and the Dodgers have been adamant about the fact that he is not going to be pitching until after the All-Star break. Now, all of a sudden, he's getting Ohtani's getting a little cagey. Dave Roberts is saying a couple of different things. They asked Dave Roberts what his chances were. And Roberts was like, well, it's definitely north of 0, right? Like he's being all cagey about it. Ohtani back on the mound. Second half of the season, right? I'm not going to bank on him doing a late July return here. Early July return. They're not going to do it. I'm looking at Ohtani post All-Star break. But either way, what's your expectation of it? I mean, obviously, we have to watch velocity, and command and control is going to be secondary to come back here. Are you into Ohtani as a pitcher?
Any team that I have him, no. Everybody who wears the Dodger blue and pitches gets hurt. Like, I need Ohtani's bat right now for my teams. I just need a healthy Ohtani. I don't think I can have a fantasy team that can withstand an injury to him. So, I mean, here's the thing. The reason that they're now potentially moving it up is I'm looking at it over here. They have a laundry list of pitchers who are injured right now. They need guys in the rotation. I understand they want to get Ohtani there, the unicorn of baseball that can hit and pitch. But at this point, a healthy Ohtani is better than that. I only have Ohtani on one team, and I am petrified of him coming back and pitching and hurting that arm, because I just don't know. I don't know if it's just some Dodgers curse, if it's the medical team over there, if it's something with the way they're instructing pitching that all of this continues to happen. But I mean, if he comes on the mound, yes, I'm looking for velocity. I'm just looking for the crispness that he had prior. But there's a part of me that just doesn't want him to pitch and just let me get my offensive stats and carry on through the rest of the season.
Makes sense. That definitely makes sense. What else we got here? More Aaron Nola news. I think you put that one in there, huh? Stress reaction in the rib cage. Bye-bye.
Yep. And right there, this is like mini Brandon Woodruff, because Brandon Woodruff had the shoulder, then got hit with the ankle thing, then got hit with the line drive into his elbow, and he's still waiting to come back. Aaron Nola went on for an ankle, then gets a stress reaction in the rib cage. He won't throw for at least 2 weeks. He was already shut down for a little bit with the ankle injury. We're not going to see him till after the All-Star break. So that's going to keep up a particular young guy that we'll talk a little bit later in terms of some waiver wire stuff.
Well,
but
no,
yeah.
I want to know who, because if you're going to say Andrew Painter,
No,
honest, I don't think he's coming up.
No, Mick Abel is going to stay in that rotation. If there were any questions before, there shouldn't be now. As long as Nola's out, there's no way Philly's taking Abel out. So he's going to stick.
He's going to have to. Kind of got roughed up a little bit his last time out.
Yeah, and I wrote about it here. In my notes here. It's, he's got the 2.35 ERA. He had all those strikeouts in his first start. The strikeouts have kind of waned a little bit. You kind of got some conflicting information. You got a good curveball that generates a ton of whiffs, and his four-seamer actually does pretty well or also. But then you got this 2.35 ERA, but a 3.59 Sierra and a 4.38 FIP. There's a little bit of discrepancy sitting in here. So it's one of those things where I don't think he's not what he was in the last start. He's not what he was in that first start. He's going to be a guy moving forward that should hang out in probably the mid threes with his ERA and should flirt with a strikeout per inning.
Okay. All right. I mean, let's kind of float into that. Let's move in and we'll do some waiver wire talk for everybody here, and see who's worth picking up. I mean, I like the Abel call here. I think it's definitely worthwhile. Who else are you looking at for your waiver wire additions here? Because Lord knows I need help.
Yeah, obviously got Abel. We talked about Yuri a little bit earlier. If you need another pitcher, Ben Kasperius for the Dodgers. He's one of the few healthy arms. I do believe he worked up to 4 innings today. The strikeouts were a little bit down, but he should be able to give you some solid ratios and hopefully some innings here moving forward. But offensive side, Royce Lewis might be coming to life. Listen, I understand if you drafted Royce Lewis, you've already dropped him. You probably don't want to do it to yourself again. And I totally understand it. But over his last 7, the strikeout rate's only at 12%. He's hitting 400 and everything looks good. Increased exit velo, hard contacts up. He's swinging fewer swings out of the zone. He's actually swinging less. So maybe he's being a little bit more selective. And that's been really good for his approach. So I understand he's a walking liability in the injury department, but right now he's good. And let's be honest, he's incredibly talented. He just had a bad start and he's often injured. Those are the big knocks, but maybe things are turning around for him.
I mean, you got to strike while the iron's hot. I mean, it's like drafting. You got to draft semi-injury agnostic, right? And while yes, Royce Lewis has that history, I'm not going to argue against what he's doing there. And the plate discipline, you're right. The plate discipline looks spectacular right now. There's one pitcher that you kind of missed. You didn't jump on. He's actually making his debut on Thursday. Milwaukee's Jason Mizrowski, right? Yep. Is that how I pronounce it? Mizrowski. I always feel like it's like like something out of the movie Monsters Inc. Mizrowski.
Hey, if he strikes out a ton of guys, yeah, that can be his last name, and I'm cool with it. He just a totally lanky dude, just with his frame, but strikeout rate is legit, and if he just can control the command like we've seen with so many of these young guys that come up. Big time strikeouts in the minors, had issues with walks, but they settled it down a little bit later. He's been good in that department. this year, but there's been a couple stretches there where it gets like it was flirting with the point that we were almost looking at him as going to be a reliever coming up because they weren't sure if the walk rates was going to be able to be sustainable as a starter, but he looks good. Absolute elite strikeout potential through the roof. If the walks can be contained, I trust that Milwaukee staff can get the most out of him. And he's someone, obviously I didn't put him in the waiver wire spot because we have him up there, but he's someone I would 100% be looking to. He's one of the more talented arms that are probably going to come up this year. And even though he doesn't have like immense prospect pedigree, he's still top 5 in the Brewers organization, and they've done well with pitchers in the past.
Probably got some leash there also. You said Brandon Woodruff's not coming back, right? I mean, I know you're out on him. And I'll tell you what, I mean, like if you're gonna bounce anybody, I mean, we'll see how he performs. But when you've got guys like Quinn Priester, Chad Patrick sitting there at the back end of the rotation, maybe Mizorowski will step it up. Nice.
Yeah. And the stuff is good. I'm looking here to see if he were to stick, who's that second start going to come against. And now, of course, when my roster resource wants to be a little bit slower, but he's going to get, who's his debut against St. Louis, right?
Yes, I believe they are playing the Cardinals.
Oof.
Cardinals are it's such a mid lineup, man. Yeah. It's such a mid team. Lars Nootbaar sucks, dude.
Yeah,
sucks.
No, this one I'm
so
okay
overrated.
With. This one I'm okay with, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the winds are next week for his next start at Wrigley.
Ah, yeah. If the wind's blowing out at Wrigley,
that could get a little ugly.
That can definitely get a little ugly.
But if that wind's blowing in, I know it's a good lineup, but get this 6'7" dude who can basically walk it to the catcher, it could be enticing.
I like it. All right. Anybody else on the waiver wire you're kind of eyeballing for this week?
I mean, obviously Roman Anthony got the promotion, but he's probably already owned in probably 98% of leagues. He's probably owned in 95% of leagues for the past month, while everybody was clamoring for him to come up. If you need a little help behind the dish, look to Kyle Teal. He just got his promotion up to the White Sox. Good contact. Actually runs pretty well. I don't know how much of a stolen base guy he'll be in the big leagues, but actually pretty fleet of foot. So if you need some catcher help there, I think you can look towards Kyle Teal. And I did get an update about the subscapularis strain for Zebby Matthews. And depending on the severity of the strain, we could be looking at a multi-month thing. It just depends on how serious the strain is, but it could be a multi-month thing.
I like that you got some inside sources here.
I mean, we all have to bring something to the table. And my overwhelming negativity on most of these podcasts with all this doom and gloom with injuries and stuff can't be my calling card.
You know what? I got to tell you, man, in all honesty, I wish that I had happier things to talk about with fantasy baseball too. I'm literally just getting my ass handed to me in FSGA. And I'm like, I mean, I got to try and make up a lot of ground. I'm going to have to start trading off all of my power because there's no way in hell I'm going to move up in home runs, right? I'm going to have to trade any power I have to grab some speed and just start stealing some stolen base points there while I just load up on relievers and hope that somebody can fix my whip and my ERA. I mean, I wish that I'm like middle of the pack in labor, middle of the pack in Great Fantasy Baseball Invitational, bottom pack of because I mean, listen, I only doing like 5 or 6 baseball leagues. I've got a lot of the same guys. I know I'm supposed to diversify the portfolio a little bit, but when you have to turn your attention to football as early as we have. And as you guys can see here, if you're watching us on the YouTubes, by the way, yep, right down there, we got a little ticker. And then Colby, if you just point, up that way over there, right there. There's a little QR code that gets you the Fantasy Alarm NFL Draft Guide, right? That's already launched. We're here in in the beginning of June, for crying out loud. So it takes away from baseball a lot. So I ended up, instead of diversifying the portfolio, I ended up drafting a lot of similar players on these 5 teams. And it's sucked, Colby. I can't even say it in a nice way. It's embarrassing how bad it is.
But it's one of those things we talked about it before the year of if you go with your guys, you draft the people that you believe in for the year because they're your guys. If you're going to win, it's going to be with them. If you're going to lose, it's going to be because of them. And in an alternate reality, you hit on all those people. And we're talking here about all 5 teams being great because you have this core on all 5 of them where it all panned out. It's just, this year maybe it wasn't meant to be. Like last year, I finished in first in my little TGFBI sector, and that my crew of guys that I had there hit. This year, just that kind of core that I was looking at didn't pan out this year so far. So we're just, I always subscribe to you win and lose with your guys. I'm drafting people that I like for my reasons, not because, all these people said that this is the breakout and, because X person said it, I'm going to draft based on them. I'm going to take what they say, consider it, but it's ultimately my decision, my team. I'm going down, if the ship goes down, I'm going down with them.
And you know what? I mean, listen, that's, one of the good things about, also just doing the podcast is that there's going to be a heavy focus moving forward. We're going to do a very heavy focus on waiver wire, on trade possibilities, because, it's going to be a matter of just how are you going to move up? Who are the players who are going to move you up in the categories that you're most movable in? So we'll do some, I'll tell you what, we'll do this next week, actually. Next week, we'll do, a little bit of breakdown of, assessing where you are in the standings, figuring out where your best bets are for categories that you can move up in, and the players who will end up doing that for you. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Colby with the best team in baseball, Pittsburgh Pirates. Congratulations, Mazel Tov. And I guess that's going to do it for us here on the Caught Stealing podcast. How to fix your team? Waiver wire, baby. Colby and I are in on it. Catch up with you guys next week. I wish I had some, I don't know. Why am I having trouble just ending this podcast?
I don't know.
Like, you ever been on a phone with somebody and you're like, I can't get off the phone with this guy. This guy won't get me off the phone. Won't get me off the phone.
Well, usually I just go fantasyalarm.com/NFL draft guide and hang up.
FantasyAlarm.com/NFL draft guide. We'll catch you next week here on the Caught Stealing podcast. For Colby Conway, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.